why your midlife crisis is a gift. If you're feeling bored or frustrated or restless in your life right now, then good. This is an opportunity. This is the wake-up call. And the key thing here is, will you accept that call? If you stick with me here, I'm going to explain what a midlife crisis is, what an opportunity is, and then give steps that I learned so that you can take that opportunity and make it work to get you an amazing life, the life that you really, really want. Oh, and hey, I'm Steve. I grew up poor, then I became a millionaire before I was 30. Then I sabotaged it and walked away from all of it to find what really, really mattered to me in life. And I'm here talking about my journey and offering any kind of advice to people out there like you who are interested in getting an amazing and great life. So welcome, and let's get into it. So first of all, what's a midlife crisis? Well, typically they call it a midlife crisis because you move along in your life, maybe go to school, get a job, maybe get married, kids, you start to work on your career, doing everything that our society tells you to do, or that encourages you to do. But then you wake up one day, like I did, and you go, how the hell did I get here? And what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? You might think, well, you will think when you get to this point that it isn't a gift, because all of a sudden you're like, what is the meaning of my life? And is this really me? And that's really the wake-up call. And it's going to happen to everyone at some point. So knowing that this is coming, or you might be in the midst of something like this, and to see what your options are and to see where you can go wrong and where you really want to go to get your best life is why I'm making this video. I went through that. I did that for years, and I struggled to figure out the sort of why and what I was after. After 20 years, I realized more and more what I wanted, and then started to go after it. And so if I can save you some time and energy, then I hope that it can help you. The midlife crisis, the wake-up call, the realization that you might not be living life according to your real deep values and to who you really are. Because a lot of us don't discover who we are until later in life, or not at all. Very few of us discover what and who we really are down deep inside. And a lot of that has to do with the society we live in, and that we are not encouraged to think deeply about ourselves and our real fulfillment and who we really are, because we are in a society that wants to keep us working, keep us producing, keep us paying taxes. Unfortunately, with a capitalist society, that's kind of the way it works. It's like work, make your money, die. But there's more to life than that. Once you hit your midlife crisis, or even you can call it your wake up, where you're just like, what do I really want? And is this it? And a lot of times it isn't. You're like, this life seems meaningless. This life seems like it's not giving me the full meal deal. And so for those of you who are looking for that, you're lucky. You're lucky that you can wake up to that, but you're in for a bit of a ride. The way I see it, there's 3 paths you can go. Number 1 is pure distraction. I'm gonna buy that, the typical story. I'm gonna buy a shiny new sports car, drive around, I get a new haircut. I'm gonna go divorce my wife, get rid of my husband, and go find someone that's younger and more exciting, or just new toys, new things, the next novelty item. Or I wanna buy a mega mansion, or I wanna start collecting cars. Money and toys and stuff is a big distraction, and that is what our society promotes, because we live in a capitalist society where people make money when you are spending money. So all of our advertising, all of our media is supported by a distraction mechanism, because they want you to consume stuff, and that's just kind of the way it is. There's no conspiracy. It's just the nature of a capitalist system is to consume and to encourage you to consume and to tell you that your life is meaningless unless you consume. And so if you're caught in that, which a lot of us are, then you get to that point where you're like, okay, my life is meaningless, so I'm gonna go and just get more things, get more novelties, find the next big thing, find the next big goal, which is make more money and do all these things. That's one path, the wrong path, because you're not going to find yourself. The next path is bury it, and you just sort of accept that this is your life, that there's nothing you can do to change that. This low motivation, this low energy is just the way it is, And so you need to just trudge along, be a good soldier, and just do it, and get your little bits of fun here and there, but for the most part, accept that life is a flat land. It's relatively meaningless. And that's a terrible path as well, because what you're going to find over time is that your true self underneath is going to be revealed. You're going to move towards distractions. You're going to find other things. You might actually even destroy your life because you've buried the true you and you haven't accepted some sort of real challenge to find yourself, your true self, and who you are, and the real life that you want to build. That's actually the third path. And that is where you figure out your core values and you move towards a path of, I'm going to bring more meaning into my life. And it's through doing things that give me energy, that help the world, and that give me a deeper satisfaction. And you move towards finding that. If you've ever read any Joseph Campbell, where he talks about the hero's journey, that's actually the real hero's journey, where you accept and build a life that will challenge you. And a lot of times it means going into the unknown, trying new things. It doesn't necessarily mean throwing your entire life away, like I did when I was younger. But of course, if you want to do what I did, which is just light your life on fire, then you can do that as well, because eventually I created the life that I wanted. I still struggle in a lot of areas. I've accepted that struggle as part of how I get the life that I want, and it's a good struggle. So I appreciate that struggle. And that's the heroic path. And that's the path that is going to be a struggle and be difficult, but if you have the right mindset, if it's something that really is according to your core values, and my core values were like adventure, freedom, creativity. And so when I moved towards that, and I struggled when I started doing this whole thing, I struggled for like probably 3 or 4 years, and I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. It was like a struggle to rearrange my life. And then all of a sudden, for me, within a few months, things just rapidly shifted and changed, and I got to come down here. I freed up from my life entirely, and I was completely in a new environment, free, having an adventure, being creative, learning aggressively and how to live off-grid. And all of these things were super, super invigorating. But I still struggled. The old life was still there pulling at me, and the conveniences were causing me to stress out because I didn't have them. They were all part of the thrill of really understanding and accepting my core values and moving towards them. So most people handle a midlife crisis the wrong way. They numb themselves with distractions, with social media, with endless entertainment, with endless novelties, new cars, all of these things. They look for the solution outside of themselves. But the real solution, and this is going to sound maybe a little bit woo-woo, the real solution is within. And when I say within, I mean understanding who you really are, which means understanding what you really value in your life, what you love doing. That is the thing that gives you energy in life. And if you figure out at a deeper level who you are and what that is, then you're going to be able to find a life that expresses that. And that just brings you energy, and that brings you good feelings, brings you goals, it brings you vision, it brings you the why in your life that everyone is looking for. Okay, so here's the steps. 5 steps to take your midlife crisis and make it work for you. So the first step is listen to the message. Don't run from it. Sit down somewhere, take your time, and ask yourself, what is the inner voice telling me? And if you want to break it down to make it easier, you can look at your life in 5 categories and say, there's your financial career side, there's your relationships, intimate and family and community, there's your mental and emotional health, there's your physical health, and then there's your purpose. Which one of those would you rate as really, really bad? And so, are you in a job that seems pointless? Is it not something that thrills you? Is it not something that maxes out whatever creativity you have or the gifts and talents and skills that you could give to the world in that work? Then it's relationships. Is your relationship just kind of dull? Is it kind of shallow? Is it not fulfilling? Are your friends kind of dull and shallow and not fulfilling either? Are you really maxing them out? Do they support you? Do they challenge you? Do you have a community that inspires you? If you rate that low, take a look at that. The same thing with physical, emotional health, your own. Are you educating yourself enough? Are you reading enough? Are you interested in stuff enough? Do you have hobbies, whatever, to keep your mind active and keep you focused on doing something you really, really love? Physically, are you in good shape? Because if you're in terrible shape, then you're going to have low energy and you're not going to be able to do a lot of things. Like, I surf. If I was in terrible shape, I could not surf at my age, and I have wanted to surf my entire life since I was a kid living in a small town in the middle of Canada, not even close to a surf break. But because I maintain my health, now I'm able to do that, and that fills my life with a lot of satisfaction in the physical realm. And then there's also your ultimate purpose, which is like, what is something that you especially love doing and that others really appreciate you doing that, and they get a lot of energy out of it, and you get a lot of energy out of that. In my case, it's doing stuff like this. It's leading men's groups. It's helping inspire people in entrepreneurship to build a cool gadget or a cool company or something that really, really gives them a lot of life. I love the idea of helping other creators and inventors and entrepreneurs start things and build things. So that fills me with a lot of energy and a lot of motivation to lean into that and to give people my experience. So that's what fires me up. So that first one is really, really important. It is listen and figure out what your insides are telling you needs to change and wants to change. And step two is Nietzsche's become who you are, which is look in the mirror and just see, is your life, look at it from an objective perspective, like a stranger, and say, is this the life that I would want for myself? Is this the life that I would create if I had a chance to write a script and write a life? And here's the thing. You do. This is where it is right now. You have the opportunity to now create the life that you really, really want. Step three, start small, but start. In other words, you don't have to quit your job and end your marriage and move to another country and do anything super, super extreme like I did when I was younger, which shredded my life. If I had to look back on it, I would have rather taken a step-by-step approach. And for my example is, my company had gone in the wrong direction. And instead of just destroying it, which is what I did, and walking away, I could have reorganized it and steered it the way that I wanted it to go. I could have done that in an incremental way. So really, it's what is the one major thing in your life that's causing you the most frustration, the most stress? And it's something that you're just like, I don't want this in my life. This doesn't align with my values. Take one step to move yourself in the direction that you want to go, and then another step after that, and another step after that. But taking that first step is the important part. Step four, start to shed the old skin. Maybe you have a super negative friend that you're just tired of listening to. Or maybe it's just a character, a way that you act. Maybe you put yourself in a victim mode in parts of your life where you don't think you're capable of moving. So it's time to shed that skin and move towards the you that you really are. And a lot of this could be shedding the persona, what Carl Jung calls the persona, shedding the persona that society has put on you. Maybe you're hiding your true self. Maybe you're super gifted at comedy or singing, or one of these things that you were good as a child and you loved doing, but you just stopped doing because maybe people shamed you. Maybe you just were like, oh, there's no real money in this. This is the point where you can do this. I mean, we live in a society where you can do anything at this point. It's time to take a look at what the real you is underneath that old skin and shed the stuff that no longer benefits you, that no longer helps you, that weighs you down to a certain extent and doesn't allow you to be the real you. Step number 5, chase the unknown. And that is a big one because it scares the hell out of a lot of people. But as an adventurer, I love it. And I love having a vision and then just going for it and seeing how it unfolds. Even if you're afraid, you just jump in. Carl Jung called it the shadow. It's the hidden parts of you that want to shine but have somehow been denied or suppressed throughout your life, and they're just itching to come out. So this is where you can let them out and take some risks in your life, and you're going to see that It's like releasing almost like childhood energy. And here's the kicker. What I see as the real wisdom is that essentially it is the start of a second life. That's almost a new life. It's like you're finding your true and your real soul and you're setting it free. If you do, you are going to have the greatest adventure of a life that you could ever dream of, and the rewards are unbelievably amazing. Hopefully that helps. If you liked that, then like, subscribe, and if anything resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I read them all. Till next time, thanks for watching.